Dave, we have to talk about this album, the G Herbo follow up to PTSD 25. I mean, where are you at with G Herbo going into this album? 25 or PTSD was a little underwhelming, I think you could say.
Yeah, I liked PTSD, but we actually didn't review it. Came out right before the pandemic began. But PTSD, I think, just kind of kept it going for G Herbo with a few like notable highlights, namely the title track, which features Juice WRLD, Chance the Rapper, Lil Uzi Vert, and appears to be the biggest song of G Herbo's career. I have to imagine a lot of that's chalked up to the Juice WRLD fans because it is probably one of the best Juice WRLD posthumous features, I'd have to say. But G Herbo's still doing his thing, and we checked in on him, I think, 2 years ago. His second tape with Southside got a lot of stuff out at this point, people know. And 25 to 5, this, I believe this will make his third official album, fourth album. He's kind of marking like getting this far as
Hmm.
someone from the, I believe he's from the east side of Chicago, you know, having a tough life and finding himself quite successful now. And he seems to have dipped his toes further into committing to promoting his career. So, still like G Herb, always have, but I think we're still waiting for like a signature hit from him
Hmm.
in the near term. Like we've had some like really important moments in his career, but lately he just kind of reminds me of like a solid rapper. You know, he's a solid Chicago artist, but he doesn't seem to inspire as much fervent fandom as say Polo G or Little Durk are doing as far as Chicago goes.
Yeah, I think solid is the way to describe the way I see him. He, especially listening to 25, I think there were some moments that I really liked, and then there were some I was like, this isn't necessarily bad, but it's just not something that's really hitting for me. Um, and I felt like in listening to 25, it kind of came in spurts. Like the first couple of tracks I thought were really strong, and then it kind of hits this lull in the middle. I think it's like right around like you can't or no jail time, and it just kind of starts to feel a little samey and not as interesting. Maybe it's a little bit later than that. And then it kind of picks back up near the end. Like I thought a couple of tracks like Loyalty stood out to me. Um, Turning 25 also was a track that kind of caught my ear. So I felt like listening to this, like this isn't necessarily not good, but I wouldn't say it was an album that I'm probably gonna be talking about a lot beyond today. But did anything stand out for you in particular?
Yeah, I still had some moments, and I can't really put my finger on it, but I feel like G Herbo really is benefited by a good beat because for whatever reason, vocally, he maybe this is that Midwest drawl. I'm not sure what it is, but I feel like sometimes he needs the beat to help. But yeah, towards the end, I thought Statement stood out for some obvious reasons. Namely, it's the I Really Mean It beat from
Mhm.
Dipset. And I actually kind of like some of the lines on that because that's a really like introspective song. How the fuck we catch a case? We bought a school. I think a nice nod to both the good things happening in his life, buying a school, turning a community center in Chicago, the bad things happening in his life, some fraud charges levied against him quite recently. I like that song. I mean, using that beat, if you can successfully use a classic beat, it always seems
Of
to work out for
course.
you. Uh, obviously. Also, really liked um, Cold World and No Jail Time, particularly No Jail Time. I feel like that's that
Mhm.
storytelling, that's the Chicago drill darkness that people know by now. Um, on Two Chains, I thought this one was really funny to me because that hook, I think, is definitely like that samey kind of boring stuff. Like, bitch, I'm rich. What? Rich as shit. Like, okay, we get it. We get it. But it has probably my favorite line on the whole album, which I thought was hilarious. God gave a dude a second chance, call it Taylor Bennett. That's amazing. That's a Chicago Chance the Rapper reference. I love it. Uh, and I actually thought the song with Gunn and Kid Roy was pretty good as well. Surprised how much I like those features. You can't. And then T.O.P. just because 21 Savage, his features are
Yeah.
still hitting. Like he's about as consistent as they come right now. It's awesome.
Yeah, anytime Savage drops in, it's always welcome and always just, I perk up a little bit. Um, yeah, uh, I don't want to die and cry no more back to back. I really like that to start off, and then obviously you get T.O.P. just 2 tracks later. I think that's probably my favorite stretch. That first four. Um, I don't understand how you have a song called Two Chains and don't have Two Chains at least like do some ad libs for it. I mean, it's right there. I don't know. Um, I guess like I was just left wondering about G Herbo and Chicago rap in general. Chance isn't really uh doing much right now. Haven't really heard from him since his first album came out.
Yeah.
So who's like at the top
Specifically
of
musically, like he's around, but he's like not totally focused on being the rapper.
right, right. And so who is like at the top of the Chicago rap right now?
I mean,
Like
it's
who?
easily Polo G.
Right,
It's
yeah.
got to be Polo
Okay, I
G.
guess after Polo G, like
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be Dirk based on popularity, right? Voice of the Heroes with
hmm,
Baby was really rapidly consumed. He's never been more popular, despite having a damn near 10-year career at this point. Not the biggest Dirk fan, but he can't argue with, like he's getting big features. He's making lots of moments now, featured on a Drake song and a Megan song in the last year, making his own album, collab album. Like he's definitely there. Um, so I definitely would think of Polo and Dirk first. And Herbo just kind of reminds me of, someone who's like workman, like Dreezy, right? Like they're not like
yeah.
stars per se, but they're in the major label system. They'll be paid attention to, but not just super popular at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because when we first started doing this podcast and talking about Chicago rap, we talked a lot about Vic Mensa,
Mhm.
talking about Chance the Rapper, obviously, and
Yeah.
it feels like there's like a real changing of the guard there right now. And I mean, it's interesting. It's just if Chance comes back and makes something, maybe he'll be able to regain that. You know,
Right. Yeah, I mean, a lot of those other like more jazzy people, they're still around, but they're not like stars per se. Like Mick
Mhm.
Jenkins, Spino's not Chicago, but he's close. No Name, who seems to be uh, perhaps even more well known for like her activism than her music at
Yeah,
this point, just because he's not super active as a rapper. Um, yeah, Vic's a good one, and we've talked a lot about Vic and how
yeah,
up and down he's been in his sound and his quality. So there's lots of Chicago artists that's not a problem. You just gotta like
yeah.
kind of pick what you like. Like Saba, another one who we like,
Right.
but he's not like super popular, super well known at the end of the day.
No Name's a really good one. I had kind of forgotten about her, but I feel like every time she drops something, it's always quality. Wish she
Yeah,
did a
man.
little more.
Yeah, I mean, last thing she really did was the like brief like J Cole
Yeah,
response diss where she really kind of outclassed him. Yeah, I'm
crazy.
trying to think. Is there
Well,
anyone like we're forgetting? Like obviously putting aside the OGs like Kanye and Lupe and Common. Yeah, I don't think we're really missing. No,
I mean, Chief Keef's not in there at this point.
nah.
Is
Chief.
he
Oh,
even Chicago?
yeah, yeah. Chief Keef, Lil Reese, Fredo Santana's passed. Like a lot of the early drill guys, including Keef, they don't seem to be. They're not mainstream at all, no question. And Chief Keef still makes lots of music, but like, it's not listened to by many people beyond his
Hmm.
big fans. It's kind of weird.
Well,
Um,
Cupcake, right? I guess Cupcake is.
Yeah, she's not even someone I would consider a Chicago rapper at first glance, but I guess that is where she's from.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, there's no one else that I'm thinking, and I'm also trying to look through here.
Yeah, I like Joey Perp, but he's like Saba, not super well known. Another person
Right.
in that chance orbit, which is quite vast. We've talked about Valet in the
Hmm.
past. He seems to have faded off a bit. I'm not a cowboy person, but he's still out there making more little melodic shit. Um, yeah,
Yeah, I think
I
it.
mean
I mean, Polo
there's
G
talent, there's talent,
for
but
sure.
it's Polo's for sure at the top,
Yeah,
and great to see because I do really like him.
yeah, for sure. Also, I'm just looking through like a list here of rappers who are associated with Chicago. Shout out to Twista. Oh, I guess Earl Sweatshirt too, right? Is he technically a Chicago rapper?
Is he? I did not
I
know
don't
that's
know.
where I was from. I
He's
definitely
listed here, but
I
who knows?
associate him technically with the West Coast because that's where Odd
Yeah,
Future was based out of with Tyler. Um, yeah, I mean his rap and ash, some rap songs type sound, I guess, is closer to the jazzy shit we've been talking about. I guess you could count it. Sure. I actually did not know Earl was from Chicago. That's funny.
Yeah, interesting. I'm reading that Earl was born in Chicago, but his mom was a law professor at the University of California, LA. So,
Okay. Yeah. I
yeah,
mean, remember when it was free Earl, it was because he was in Samoa, not because he was in
right.
Chicago. So,
Exactly. Um, yeah, I'm not putting him on the Chicago list. So, I mean, Polo G, Lil Durk, those seem like the top two right now. We'll see if Chance ever puts anything else out that maybe gets him back to that status. But
yeah, let's
real
just make
changing
some
of the
music,
guard.
Chance. Just make some music, man. Come on.